wide variety of ways, and many of them are morally debatable. Various nations permit some forms of assisted suicide, such as voluntary or passive forms of euthanasia. Mercy killing. The phrase mercy killing typically refers to an active, involuntary, or non-voluntary form of euthanasia that is delivered by a third party. To put it another way, someone intentionally ends the life of a patient to put an end to the misery of the individual suffering. Physician-assisted suicide. Physician-assisted suicide refers to active, voluntarily performed assisted suicide in which a doctor supports the patient in ending his or her life. The patient is given the means necessary to commit suicide by the doctor, such as ample medication. In addition to being acrimonious, the euthanasia debate also raises a number of legal, psychological, sociological, and economic issues. Since the dawn of time, it has been a problem for humanity and has taken center stage at the nexus of bioethics and jurisprudence. While euthanasia supporters cite the freedom of self-determination and the absurdity of extending a life devoid of purpose and dignity, opponents contend that palliative care should take priority and that legalization of euthanasia would violate the idea of the sanctity of life. Therefore, the majority of countries have made an effort to strike a balance between these different perspectives and have only allowed passive euthanasia, or the removal of life support, with sufficient safeguards for people who are critically ill or in a persistent vegetative condition. Many nations, including the United Kingdom of Britain, Colombia, Canada, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, and Singapore, also permit the implementation of advanced directives with the necessary protections. Common cause varies. Union of India, 2018. Parties to the case. In the case of common cause first, Union of India, 2018. The parties involved are mentioned below. Parties to petition. The name of the party's common cause, non-profit organization based in Petitioner Delhi Advocate as Prashant Bhushan, representing Petitioner Respondent Advocate S, representing Respondent Saurabh Shamshiri, KV, Jagadiswaran, Pamidighantam Sri Narasimha Jai Kishan Agarwal Delhi, Medical Council, Society for Intervenor The Right to Die with Dignity, Dr. Surendra, Delhi Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine, VD Center for Legal Policy Advocates, representing Intervenor RR, Kishore, Praveen Khattar, Sanjay Hegde and Arvind Datar. Petition is filed by Common Cause to draw attention to the suffering of people with terminal illnesses whose natural lifespan is being unnaturally stretched by unwelcome medical treatments. Common Cause, a non-governmental organization, filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court in the public interest. The Apex Court has already acknowledged that the right to life includes the right to live with dignity. Additionally, the court has ruled that while the right to life does not encompass the right to death, it does include the right to dignity up until the end of one's normal lifespan. This petition makes the case that it is inhumane to artificially extend life without taking the patient's wishes into consideration. Victims in this condition are unconscious. Therefore, the choice to prolong their suffering is chosen on their behalf by medical professionals or by the patient's families. Through this appeal, the court is urged to legalize passive euthanasia. It declares that it is not attempting to legalize active euthanasia, which entails taking steps like administering lethal medications to end a person's natural life. When a patient's natural life is approaching its end, passive euthanasia, on the other hand, signifies that nothing will be done to artificially extend it. The petition states explicitly that it wants patients to have the option of passive euthanasia. It advises putting policies in place for living wills, which patients can sign if they want to specify what medical operations can and cannot be done on them if they get to the point where they are unable to express their preferences. Prayer by the petitioners. The petitioners had requested the court to appoint an expert committee of professionals to examine living wills and passive euthanasia, including physicians, social scientists, and attorneys. In their petition, the petitioners asked the court to establish rules for the execution of living wills, as well as passive euthanasia, grounds on which petition is sought. The petitioners argued that extending the natural life of an individual by medication and increasing suffering violates numerous fundamental rights. Some of these fundamental rights are stated below: right to privacy. Numerous international conventions and treaties recognize privacy as a fundamental human right. It serves as one of the basic pillars of a democracy and is crucial for the preservation of human dignity. The right to privacy comes under the ambit of